I have bought a new motorcycle, a 26-year-old Royal Enfield Bullet 500. I have just bought a new motorcycle and here it is. Well, it's not quite new, but it kind of is in a way. This is a 26-year-old Royal Enfield Bullet 500 and it's only done 230 miles. So in this video, I'm going to tell you why I bought this bike. So why did I buy this bike? Well, it's the kind of bike that really gets in your head. And after seeing quite a few of them on our travels in India, I really wanted one. It got underneath my skin. I haven't really seen any of this age in England. And why didn't I buy something newer? Well, I wanted something completely mechanical, completely old school, and with oodles of character, which this engine absolutely delivers. This engine was literally designed in the 1950s, and they kept it in production for about 60 years. So this is like a 50s bike built in the year 2000. This is the 500cc Bullet. They obviously do a 350 as well, and because of the age of this one, the front end of the exhaust has got the C-bend, they call it, this lovely rounded sweep. The newer ones, they had a sort of staggered shape. This, in my eyes, looks better, and I've changed the rear end. So there was a couple of things that needed doing with this bike because it's 26 years old. It had only done 226 miles, I think, to be precise. And someone bought it, basically decided it was too big for them. So it must have been quite a small person because this isn't a huge bike, it's quite small. And it sat in someone's living room in their house for about 20 years. I think the chap who bought it passed away and his wife then sold it to someone else who then sold it to a classic bike dealership in London. And originally it was marketed on eBay for £3,300, and then I committed to buying it and the chap said, "Oh, it's not running properly, I'll give you 600 quid off." So I thought, oh, what's wrong with it? But I thought, do you know what, it's worth taking the gamble, something that's that good condition, that low mileage, let's see what's wrong with it. And really, it wasn't too bad. So the main issue with this bike was that it was smoking quite badly. It actually had its MOT last year and in the notes it had passed, but it said really bad smoking. So I thought, what could that be? We changed the oil and the oil was basically black because it had been sat in there for so long. So it's got new oil in it, but it was still smoking quite badly. I took it for a test ride in its condition that it was in, and it was just really smoky, wasn't riding quite properly, and it wasn't starting smoothly. It was really kicking back, going massive backfires trying to start it. So I took it somewhere to have it looked at because I'm no expert when it comes to these things. I thought it'd be good to have someone who really knows, really knows what it's doing, he's doing, not the horse, to have a look over it properly. And it turns out that the choke was stuck on, so no matter whether it was in the off position, it was constantly on, so that's why it was smoking so much. Sorted that out. The valves needed adjusting slightly, so they've been adjusted, and I've got this Hitchcock's rear exhaust pipe put on there, proper shorter silencer. It's loud, but it's lovely and deep, and you get that proper deep tone. And one of the things I love so much about these, is that you can tune it so low because it's such a long stroke engine and it's really very lethargic. So when you start it up, it's got this beautiful low tick over, which has been tuned in the carburettor properly, and with that paired with this beautiful exhaust, sounds unbelievable. And when you start going along, you short shift it, boy does it sound good, so deep, it's fantastic. With the nature of what we do, testing motorcycles for a living, we get to ride all sorts of bikes on the channel from all different manufacturers, all the latest bikes. So it didn't really make sense for me in my head to buy a new modern bike because we can get them on press loan bikes, and I wanted something that delivered a completely different sensation, something that felt classic, something with loads of character, beauty. And it's not a bike that I'm going to be riding all the time. This is very much a back lane plodder for short journeys, going to the pub, going for a bike night. Down the road there's a lovely pub that does a bike night near us, the Carrington Arms. And also, don't forget, we are hosting the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride in Rutland this year, which is finishing at a beautiful pub. And you can click the link in the description if there's any spaces left by the time this video goes out. Make sure you sign up. So this is very much going to be for short journeys, bike nights, local rides, nothing strenuous, no long trip journeys. We've got some bikes booked in from manufacturers' press bikes, hopefully for longer periods of time this year, that are for those longer journeys, and we've got some really cool things planned. So we'll reveal a bit more about that coming soon. There's a charm to classic motorcycles that modern bikes don't quite deliver. This has got oodles of character, I mean 10 times more than a modern single cylinder. It's absolutely infectious. When you start it up, and it is a knack to do, that's also part of the reward. Getting it right, learning where the Kickstarter needs to be pressed. And these are actually quite unique in the fact that you start them very gently. Got to be sort of loving when you give this thing a kick, whereas some of the old Triumphs and things like that, you really have to boot them. So I was used to that, but you really have to get your head around a new way of starting a bike with this. And once you do, it's unbelievable, the pulsations through the handlebars and the low tick over. It runs so low that it just sounds like it wants to conk out, but it never does. It just keeps on going. It's absolutely infectious. Personally, I think this is one of the best looking motorcycles ever made. It's absolutely stunning. The proportions are just perfect. The silhouette of this bike is faultless. It's got beautiful, proper, fully coverage, classic mudguards on the front and the rear. These are in chrome, absolutely stunning. The chrome's in great condition on this as well. Chrome spoked wheels and a drum brake, which on the front is absolutely hopeless. It doesn't do anything, it's terrible. So you really have to plan when you're going to stop far in advance. The rear brake's okay, that's also a drum brake. Now this is also unique in the fact that the gears are on the right hand side, the rear brake is on the left. Most motorcycle manufacturers changed that over in the 70s to become universal with all different brands. Everything went to the left. This didn't. This is a 2000 bike that still had the gear changing on the right, which is quite charming actually. It's a real nod to the past. I don't know whether that's just because they couldn't be bothered to change it, but you've also got a neutral gear selector on here, which is fantastic. So even if you're in fourth gear, it's got 4 gears on this bike, you can kick that and go into neutral. It goes into proper neutral as well, all the way back down through all the gears, which is something which would be really useful on all bikes, I think. The engine from this side, I do really think is one of the most beautiful engines ever made. It's absolutely stunning. I would quite happily have one of these engines in my house as a piece of art. It's so beautiful. Every time I look at it, it makes me just amazed at how stunning it is. Got a beautiful front headlamp. It's absolutely stunning. The quality is brilliant. It's got this really interesting sort of sharp shape up here. It's a beautiful line, stunning. Absolutely beautiful analog speedometer with an old school odometer, and you've got an ampemeter. And what I like about this is that there's nothing modern about it. It's got no mod cons. You don't know what gear you're in. It doesn't tell you anything. It's got no sat nav. It's got no rev counter. It's utterly old school. It's all about being in tune with the machine, figuring out what RPM you're in just by hearing it and listening to the bike. And that is ever so rewarding because everything becomes one with the machine. And you don't quite get that in a modern motorcycle. Fuel tank is a beautiful shape, and as I say, you've got this beautiful chrome and red with this gold pinstriping, which is done by hand. Absolutely stunning. It's also sort of faded a bit over time, which gives it a bit of character in my eyes. The fuel cap is stunning. It says Bullet Enfield on here. It doesn't even say Royal Enfield, it just says Enfield. Absolutely beautiful. The bars are really narrow, stunning chrome bars. The switch gear, I love it. It's very simple, and it shows you that really this is the same with all manufacturers, and they're starting to get better again now. Switch gear in the past used to be really beautiful, metal, simple and beautiful, and then they sort of went to making things cheap, so everything became plastic. You've got plastic switch gear, big red buttons that look hideous, and now manufacturers are starting to go back the other way and start making them a bit more beautiful again. On the tank, on the side, you've got these lovely rubber pads, which you can hug with your knees. It stops your legs getting cold, but it's nice to grip the tank with that. This side of the engine I don't think is as good looking as the right-hand side. It's still pretty, but the right-hand side is twice as good looking in my eyes. The seat on this is not the standard seat. I've still got the standard seat, but this is nice and comfortable, and I've got a pillion, which is nice and padded. And you've got the rear pegs here, which are a bit clunky. And these side panels here are actually purely for storage. So you can put things in there. Someone's written something in there. Plug 020, don't know what they're doing there. So I don't know what's been done to this bike in the past, but the airbox has got a sort of cone air filter, like an aftermarket air filter. So it made me wonder whether someone had changed the exhaust in the past and then put the standard one back on and then just left it in the house for 20 years. It's a bit of a strange one. There's a missing gap in the story of this. On this side as well, you've got the same side panel for more storage. I haven't figured out what I'd put in here yet, but I suppose you could go down to the local bakery, get your lunch, put your sandwich in there and have a nice petrol-y sandwich. Now, I know sometimes, like when the old man bought his Bullet 500, some people got upset about it and said they were going to unsubscribe. If you like this kind of bike, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, but don't worry, I'm not going to only do videos on this bike from now on. There will be all the usual things of all the manufacturers, all the modern bikes, modern classics, cruisers. So this is really just a bike for local runs, going to the coffee shop down the road, getting a bottle of wine from the local wine cellar, that sort of thing. Really short distance joy rides, that's all it's for. So it's not going to be the only bike featured on the channel from now on, but if you do want to see more of it, let us know in the comments down below and let me know what you want to see with this bike.